Thank you, everyone. I call this meeting to order. As you are able, please stand with us for the national anthem.
We would like to acknowledge
that we are here today
on the traditional territory
of the Mississaugas of the New Credit First Nation.
Nous tenons à reconnaître que
nous sommes sur le territoire traditionnel
des Mississaugas de la Première Nation de New Credit.
Thank you, and a quick apology to members of the public for our delay. We were in a previous meeting that went over a few more minutes, but we are here now and ready to go. In addition, I'd like to explain, normally the seats in front of us are full here on the floor, but today all of the superintendents who would normally occupy those seats are away making phone calls as a result of a promotion process and letting candidates know that they have been promoted. So we appreciate the good work they are doing as well. We have one regret for tonight from Trustee Sohi, and we have one addition to the agenda. It is item 12.1, the OPSPA Connects e-newsletter dated December 10th. That addition is in front of you. Trustee Andrews, will you move the agenda with this addition? Thank you. And seconded by Trustee Benjamin? Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest? Seeing none, we move to item 3 on the agenda, which is the minutes. Section 3.1 is the Audit Committee meeting of November 15th. 3.3 is the minutes of the Instructional Program Curriculum Committee meeting on November 21st. And 3.4 is the minutes of the regular meeting of the board on November 27th. They are here for our receipt and approval. Are there any questions or comments regarding any of these minutes? Seeing none, Trustee K. McDonald, will you put them on the floor? Thank you. Seconded by Trustee B. McDonald. Thank you. All those in favor? Carried. Are there any written questions from trustees? Seeing none, moving to item 5. Are there any notices of motion? I'm sorry, apologies. Are we going back to item 4? Trustee K. McDonald, still learning the technology here. Yes, you are on.
Thank you. Through your chair, it has been brought to my attention by some concerned high school students that many are disgruntled with regards to teacher-student conferences. So they've asked me to ask the following questions, and there are 3 questions. What are the requirements of teachers to provide a success criteria for their students? Question 2, what are the teachers' obligation to explain the grades students receive? And question 3, could teachers be required to sit down with their students halfway throughout each semester, or once before midterms and once before finals?
So student questions. So if we can have those handed in to the director's office, Mrs. Mueller, we'll get the administration's answers to those. Thank you. Now moving to item 5. Are there any notices of motion or petitions from trustees? Seeing none, moving to item 6, which is special section for receipt. 6.1 is the list of retirements. Any comments or questions? Trustee Crocker, will you move this item, please? Seconded by Trustee Green. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Item 7 is delegations, and we have no request to delegate the board tonight. Item 8 is old business, and there are no responses or letters due, so there is no old business to address. Moving to item 9, which is new business, we take these items individually in this section. 9.2 are the recommendations of the Instructional Programs Curriculum Committee from November 21st, 2018. And there are no recommendations, so we are just receiving these. Are there any questions or comments regarding that November 21st IPC meeting? Seeing none, Trustee DeCroo, will you move this, please? Thank you. Seconded by Trustee B. McDonald. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. 9.3 is a borrowing resolution for school board expenditures, 2019. Vice Chair Lawton, will you put this on the floor? I will. Thank you. And Trustee Davies, will you second this? Thank you. I believe Controller Lattiche is addressing this. Thank you. Oops.
Yeah, so the resolution that's before you, through Chair, is around our borrowing resolution. So every year we have to renew the fact that we can potentially borrow up to $250 million. And that borrowing is simply related to some of the delays in funding that occur. So sometimes our funding does not exactly meet our operating obligations, and as well we use this line of credit for our EDC purchases as well.
Thank you. So let's just understand this. This is not additional monies. This is monies that will be replenished at another time?
That's correct. Through Chair, yeah, that's correct. So these are not additional monies. So this is simply reaffirming that we as a board can borrow up to that amount. So this is just a renewing that affirmation. So we currently have some amounts outstanding for EDC loan. And then if we need to, from our operational, we will from time to time use our operating line of credit. So this is nothing new.
I see. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from trustees? Seeing none. We've already put this on the floor and seconded it. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Are there any reports from officials and staff? There are none. Moving to item 11, the director's report, and there is no report. Moving to item 12, these are reports from the Ontario Public School Boards Association. Recall that we added 12.1 to the agenda, can we have this moved by Trustee Green and seconded by Trustee Andrews? All in favor? Carried. Item 13 is communications for action or receipt. There are no communications for us to deal with at this time. This is a wonderful meeting to chair at this pace, at this stage. Moved by Trustee DeCroo, please, and seconded by Trustee B. McDonald. Thank you. Section 14, item 14 rather, is the response of administration to former questions, and however there are none. Are there any reports in item 15? Are there any reports from trustee representatives on councils or associations? Yes, sir. Trustee Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think that is very important that I bring two information items to our board coming back from the Ontario School Board Association over the weekend, which myself and Trustee McDonald attended. So on Friday night, well, we met, the executive directors met all day Friday, and we had a discussion, and we had word that the minister was coming. However, the minister, they had told us that they would only be staying so long, so we planned a strategy. She was going to take a few questions, but not a lot of questions. So what we did, we decided and we came up with a list of questions that we think was prior to question that we should ask, and they were divvied up among members of the executive and one youth representative to ask those questions. I think the two questions that was key for me to talk to tonight is about, first, and Ms. Suplet is here, is the Parents Regional Grant. We asked her about why and what is happening, and she said we take a pause because we wanted to look at our books line by line. And as I said before, she used the word line by line maybe about 10 or 15 times. And she said the line by line had just finished a couple hours before she arrived at the Ontario School Board meeting on Friday night. And she said within a week and a half, we will have a report in terms of the Parent Regional Grant. And she smiled and she said, you will be happy with what you hear. So needless to say, a lot of us look at each other you know, we looked and said, can we hold her accountable to that? Or, you know, but we don't know, but that was a question that was put forward. And she said, now that the line by line has been done, that we will be getting some good news soon. The other question we asked her about was the consultation that the province has been doing around the physical ed curriculum and the HPE, as we know, the challenge there that we have. And she said they at least have over 20,000 people who already responded, and they're going through some of those. She has a team of staff that is going through it and compiling the data at the moment. She did talk about a few things that she said you would be surprised to hear about what people were saying that they want in school and they want to see happen. She did say she did not think a lot of trustees has filled out the survey, so she's encouraging us to fill out the survey because she wants to hear from us. However, she said that a report will be coming to board and a new curriculum will be in place for September 2019. And we asked the question whether, as trustee, the trustee association will have a glimpse before that came out. And she said to us that we will be the first one to see the new curriculum. So, Mr. Chair, those are the out of the meeting itself. There was other stuff that she talks about, but most of the question that was asked, personally, I think she didn't answer them straight. Let's put it that way. She went around and came around. She took maybe about 5 minutes to answer one of the questions, and I still didn't get any answer out of them. Kathy McDonald was not on the list to ask a question, but Kathy was slick and got a question in around the spec ed funding. And she, again, danced around that one, and we didn't get an answer. So needless to say, we had a little discussion after whether this is the trend we're going to be seeing or not. However, we will wait and we'll see what this next week and a half will look like for us, especially hearing about next step in terms of the things that we're saying we will be happy. She said there's two things that's going to be coming out and we will be happy, and one of them is about the Parent Regional Grants. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Trustee Green. I feel confident, very confident, having you as our representative at that table with your experience and all of those meetings you've been to over the years, with your the depth of your insight on how provincial government operates. I appreciate the update. Thank you, sir. Moving on to item 16, are there any comments or questions from board members? May I suggest to my teammates that we continue the voluntary $1 donation to the United Way campaign. It is voluntary if you say the name of a school. We have been putting $1 in, and the money is going to the United Way. I will start with our student trustees. Trustee Chakrian. I just need to activate that button. It's not showing up on my board. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, you have nothing to say. Here. Well, there's no need to say it then. Trustee Oris Nadenova, anything to say? Yes, now I know how to turn this on.
Through you, Chair, I'd just like to say, this being the last regular board meeting of the year, that it's been a great year. It's been a great couple of months working with all of you, and I have a huge appreciation for this board sticking together through the good times and through the bad, and I can say on behalf of myself, Preet, and all the students in Peel that we're hugely looking forward to working with all of you in 2019.
Thank you. Trustee Crocker.
Thank you, Chair. That would be ditto for me. I don't think I can say it any better.
Yeah. Well,
and
you.
Merry Christmas.
Sweet. Thank you. Trustee Benjamin.
Okay. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. See you in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Trustee McDonald.
Thank you. Through your chair, I have a couple of questions. First, hot off the press was a question from Catherine Soplet with regards to getting PIC to be included in the board committee meeting list, as it is a scheduled, it's a legislative committee. So she was requesting that if you can get the PIC meetings be listed. That's one question.
Okay, let's take one at a time. Can we'll move that to administration for discussion and consideration of the question. So if you make sure you give that to Mrs. Mueller as well. Okay. Sure. The second question.
So the student survey, I just wondering if it has been completed in all schools.
Is it administration like to answer that, or? Should be on now.
Thank you. Through you, Chair Cameron. The student survey has been completed in all schools. However, when you roll out a survey of that magnitude, there are a few schools that are still submitting results based on students being absent, and there was 2 schools where we were waiting for materials to arrive. So overall, as a system, it's complete, but there are still surveys coming in based on students that were absent.
Hit the button again, please.
Thank you. So another question with regards to the survey is there, and I wouldn't expect that answer tonight, but if we could just get a feel or a sense of any of the successes or any little hiccups or issues we had with administering the survey. Also, I just wanted to mention that I was at Chief Evans' retirement, and we were well represented. I saw Superintendent Harmon, and the fabulous Tara Regatta was there, and Kelly Krug was there, and so we were well represented there. Also, around my school, I think it was the 6th, we had kindergarten registration, and in one of my schools, by about 9:30, we already had 20 people in the door within half an hour, so it was looking really, no, I will not tell you the name of the school. Also, One thing I wanted to mention with the discussion with Lisa Thompson, the Minister of Education, was that she was reminding everyone that the consultation is on December 14th, and she's asking everyone to please go to the website and fill it out, because they are actually reading every single submission, if it's even 2 sentences, and they want to get as diverse set of voices as possible. So she was, asking us to spread the word out there and make sure that people actually fill out the form. Or if you had suggestions, you can write a 250-word essay, I believe it is, or submission. And I just wanted to mention at that meeting, too, that it didn't look good for the Anti-Racism Directorate. However, when asked the question about, I also asked her about being culturally responsive in the curriculum, as well as diversity at the Ontario Colleges of Teachers, and she was receptive to that, and I look forward to having more discussions around that. And I got the sense that she's really out there feeling and trying to get capture as many voices as possible, so I encourage everyone to go out and do that. And I'd just like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, be safe, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays, and to make sure that you come back in one piece for the next meeting. Thank you.
Very nice, thank you. Could I just clarify on your last question, which was about the survey, will administration be coming back with an answer to address that last question? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Trustee Andrews. Trustee Davies. That's a toonie. Could you just push your button, sir? Oh, you just put $2 in. Well, I'm going to mention 4 schools now. Got 2 of them covered. Trustee Lawton. No, thank you. And Trustee DeKroop. And I'm sorry. Yes? A lot of buttons here.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. A couple of things. First of all, I'd like to start off by just mentioning that I attended the visual for Riley Martin yesterday at Clarkson Community Center on behalf of the board, and I attend a lot of events, and that was probably the hardest event I've ever attended. It was extremely heartbreaking just to watch students talk about losing their friend. Lots of tears, lots of anger, just very, very difficult night. So just wanted to say that. And another event I went to recently, not very recently, and yes, I will owe you $1 for this one, was at John Fraser Secondary School. They had this thing which was really interesting, and I promised the principal that I would talk about it here. They had an event that they partnered with the hospital for, and they had a careers in healthcare event, which I thought was really interesting, because I know that a lot of people don't actually know that there's a lot of, and even in education, or just in larger systems, or like in government and things like that, a lot of kids don't actually know what people do. So a lot of people think if you're going to work in healthcare, you're either going to become a doctor or a nurse. And those are the 2 things that are there. I don't have a science degree, and I work in healthcare. So it was really interesting to have all of the different professions there at the school, talking to the students about what they do and about how to get there. And it was really, really cool to see. So I encourage all schools to do similar things, whether it's careers in healthcare or careers in education. Probably a lot of kids don't know that there are people with business degrees that work in education, because you normally wouldn't think that that would be the case, but it's true, they're here. So that was really interesting. And I have a question before I end. I received a call, and I don't know if we can answer that, but maybe Associate Director Dowling could help me with this one. I received a call about a student that was born, well, a student-to-be, that is born on January 1st, and the parents want them to start earlier. Start, I guess, not earlier, but before January 1st. They want them to be able to enroll in school and not have to miss a whole year of school because of one day. Now, I know that the legislation says 4 years old means 4 years old, but what I'm trying to figure out is are there any exceptions, any exemptions under any circumstances that are ever made?
So this question would be to Associate Director Dowling.
Yeah.
And I'll just activate your mic. There you go.
Thank you, through you, Chair Cameron. I'm not aware of any exceptions. It is maybe a conversation that would be well supported through our early years superintendent, because I suspect that she probably receives queries more often than I would currently. But in my role when I was early years superintendent and also in leadership development and school support services where those questions did come forward, I'm not aware of any time in which there was an exception because it is in the Education Act.
Oh,
That's it for me. I just also wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year, Happy Holidays if I missed anything, and come back in one piece. Thank you.
okay. Thank you. Trustee Marchant? Trustee McDonald? Brad, there you go.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just, another year has gone by, and I think we have the holidays coming up where we get to spend time with families to enjoy the fun part of it, and hopefully everyone will be safe and get ready for another great year starting January 1st. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Trustee Green?
And I'll put my dollar up there because I'm going to talk about my school.
Thank you.
Just one thing before I talk, I forgot to mention is that the Ontario School Board Association Education Symposium is in January. And one of the things that the Ontario School Board Association was asking is that board encourage our new elected trustees to attend the symposium because there will be a special section on labor relations, bargaining, that will be presented as one of the workshop. And but for you to get into that, you need, once you register, you need to sign up to be in that because they know it's going to be filled. Because for the first time, we had a major turnovers in trustee across the province. We have 144 new trustees that are new to the role and responsibility, and therefore they're encouraging boards to encourage new trustees to attend the symposium. I want to talk. I pay my dollar. And I want to sit here and I want to thank President Choice. This morning I went to Maida Drive Public School and I was helping to serve breakfast to 300 kids. And it was a parent initiative who applied to President Choice. And for now until September, once a month, President Choice is coming in. They're bringing their own staff to do the pancakes. They're bringing chocolate milk and stuff like that. And they're going to feed all these kids. And there is so much pancakes that they're inviting even parents to come and have one. And I was there this morning, and it was a treat for me to help serve these kids. They were coming in and they were just rushing in, and they just, you know, it was amazing to see, because as we know that one of the issue that, and this is particular school, because it's one of our school that considered to be in one of those at-risk neighborhood, and there's a lot of needy, a lot of single parents in that community. So it was really something for me to be there and to just watch this unfold. And I promised them that I'm coming back in January to serve breakfast, and I told them as long as, you know, my schedule is free, I will be there to help serve. So, you know, and I want to commend the principal at Ash School for the great work she's doing and bringing the community together. So that was amazing. So kudos to President Choice for giving us some free stuff there and staff to help. And then the final thing I want to say tonight is that Merry Christmas to each and every one, because it's Christmas for me, and for those that don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays. I want to take the time to wish you all the best, to all the staff in the school, in the board office, wherever you are, whether you're from the custodian right up to the principal. I want to thank you for the awesome job that you do day in and day out, supporting our kids. And we could not do it without our many, many families. So to all our parents, our families in the community, I want to wish you all the best. And just to say to my colleagues and to others, this year, instead of focusing and receiving a gift, why don't we focus on giving a gift to somebody that is less fortunate? All the best to you, and hopefully that we'll see each other in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Green. You remind me in your prideful explanation about that Breakfast Club and the giving and the helping in the community about why this is such a prideful board to be a part of. I certainly feel it deeply, you feel it deeply, obviously, and we all feel it across this table, so thank you for sharing that. Before I get to my final comments as well, Trustee DeKroob would like to just add a few more comments. Go ahead.
Thank you. And first of all, I'd like to thank you, Chair Cameron, for this historic moment of being able to speak twice. So I really appreciate that. Unfortunately, we're talking about a very sad event, a very tragic thing that happened. I forgot to say thank you to all the staff who have been providing all of the support to Clarkson and Hillside. There were also staff yesterday at the visual. There were two teachers, former teachers of the students, and they were speaking about their experiences with him. And everybody was in tears and they were crying, and it was really emotional. But yeah, I just wanted to not forget that.
Thank you. I would just like to echo some of the things that have already been shared. Trustee Kay McDonald talked about going to a kindergarten class. Last Thursday, I attended 2 schools in my community for the Sneak a Peek program. It's really allowing anyone in the community to come into our school with a child who might at one point register to attend our school and hopefully stay with us through to grade 12. I'm attending 2 more this Thursday, just trying to see what that looks like. But it was a wonderful, wonderful turnout at the first 2 schools I attended. And some of the parents were really quite honest. I talked to some of the moms who brought their 3-year-olds. And they said, honestly, we're not in this board. We're in the coterminous board across the road, but they don't offer this opportunity. And as a result of you offering it, we're here to see that maybe this is where we would prefer to come. It was another one of those prideful moments that, and so I'd like to say thank you to Superintendent Joy Uniacke for all of your work and all of the members of your team, the work that they put into that Sneak a Peek program. It's so large, you needed to spread it out over 2 days, December 6th and December 13th, and thank you, Joy, for all of your staff's help with that.
Schools were those, Trustee?
Yeah, there were 2 schools. I can't say their names because I don't have any money with me. Oh, wait, the director will put,
name them.
sweet. The 2 I went to were James Bolton Public School, which is a K-5 school, and also Elwood Memorial School, a K-5 school both in Bolton, and they're little schools with big hearts and wonderful turnout, so I'm really feeling good about that. And also Thursday, it's Caledon East Public School, and then Macville Public School, and you get $1 change, sir, from this 5, so thank you, everyone. Thank you, Trustee Lawton, for taking my money. I'd like to just let everyone in the room know how prideful this moment feels as well, to share that last Thursday I joined Chespreet and also Director Joshua at a function downtown Toronto where our board was recognized as one of the top 100 employers in the GTA. It was a magnificent celebration, and it is super prideful to be part of an organization that has over 20,000 employees on any given day, and to be recognized for the wonderful work of our HR department and how the programs that you have for all of our employees that help them be better at their roles, but also be better in their personal lives. So very, very prideful. Would like to say thank you and goodbye to the Director of HR Support Services, Dawn Beckett-Morton. This is the last. Donna's had a lot of lasts over the last few days, but we want to say thank you for your wonderful leadership, your incredible insightfulness around HR issues and challenges, and for your leadership, your mentorship of all of the people who are going to take over after you leave. And we hope you have the best retirement you could ever have, Dawn. Best wishes always. So thank you, trustees. This is public question period, and item number 17, are there any questions from the public? Seeing none, item 18 is further business. Is there any further business any trustee wants to raise? This would be the place. No? Seeing none, thank you. Item 19 is the adoption of the in-committee reports. Trustee Benjamin, will you put them on the floor, please? Thank you. Seconded by Trustee Green. Thank you. All in favor? And adjournment. Moved by Vice Chair Lawton and seconded by Trustee Kay McDonald. Thank you. All in favor? Have a wonderful holiday, everyone. Thank you.